Hey everyone, welcome back to Wonder Wednesday with Dr. Ken, sponsored by New Jersey Literacy Association. Today, before we get started with our read aloud in celebration of Veterans Day, I'd like you to take a minute and gather some supplies. If you have any paper, construction paper, colored pencils, markers, crayons, we're going to be doing a special activity today. So pause the video and see if you can get some materials to get started. When you're ready, come back and press play. All right, so on today's Wonder Wednesday, I asked you to gather some construction paper, some crayons, maybe even some different supplies for creating a card. And that's because today we're going to be celebrating Veterans Day. The book that I've chosen today is a book that we have permission to read thanks to Sleeping Bear Press. And this book is called H is for Honor, a Military Family Alphabet. One of the things that I love about these books is that the alphabet books have a rhyming pattern and they have lots of information. So when I'm reading today, you can actually pause on any of the pages just to kind of take a look at what's going on in the text because we get more information as we read. This book is written by Devin Cillian and illustrated by Victor Juhas. Now, sometimes when people are reading, readers will often skip the title page and the dedication page and go right into the story. But today, we're going to slow down, and I'm going to show you why. Readers can actually get a lot of information about the text from the title page and the dedication page. It allows us to learn more about what we might expect to read in the text, but also about the inspiration or the reason why the author and illustrator have written that book. And so we're going to take a look at that today. I want you to take a minute and I just want you to pause the video for a second. And when you're looking at this screen, I want you to take a look at and tell me all the things that you notice, or tell someone who's near you, all the things that you notice about this illustration. I want you to pause, and then when you're ready to come back, you can hit play again. So now that you're back, I want to think about this title page for a second. H is for Honor, a Military Family Alphabet. And one of the things that we see here is we see an armed services person, right? Maybe you're thinking that it could be a soldier with the helmet. He kind of looks like he's dressed in army gear. I noticed that he's sitting on a pillow, which makes me wonder if he's sitting in bed, or maybe he's about to go to bed, or maybe he just woke up. But he has a letter in his hand. It looks like it was a handwritten letter. I think it was drawn by a kid when you look at the illustration. And I notice when I zoom in, it says, I love. So I'm wondering if this is a letter from someone who misses him. And if that's the case, maybe he's not at home. Maybe he's far away or serving in the military. And so those are some of the things that I noticed about this picture. Wow, if we had just skipped right past the title page, we would have missed a lot of information. And so when we're thinking about creating our Veterans Day cards today, we might want to look at some of the illustrations in this book and go back in the video and pause for inspiration. This means that we can draw some of the things that we see in the book too. Now we see the dedication page. The dedication page says, for Mom, Dad, Troy, Marty, Casey, Whiskers, and Charlie, the best family anyone could ask for. Devin. Wait a second. When I go back to the title page, I could see that Devin is the writer. Do you remember what the writer does in the book? What does the writer do? Oh, that's right. The writer is the person who writes the words. And so Devin, the author, is dedicating the book to his family. Now we see, for my son, Lieutenant Corporal Benjamin Augustus Juhas, United States Marine Corps. Victor. So Victor, when we look at the title page, was the illustrator. And wow, that makes a lot of sense. Victor is illustrating this book with a very personal connection. It looks like Victor's son either is serving or has served in the military, in this case, the United States Marine Corps. So that's really cool. The illustrator has a very personal connection to this book as well. We're going to start from the beginning. Now, I told you that alphabet books always have the rhyme, and so the rhyme is up here in the text. And then if you want to gain more information, you can pause and read over here the informational part. This page is all about A is for armed services, or really also A is for Army, A is for Air Force. So here it says, give me an A for Army and an A for Air Force too, an A for all the armed services behind the red, white, and blue. They stand at attention, tall and proud, all impeccably dressed. An A for the American Armed Forces, an A for the world's very best. No offense, but the letter B means that you're a brat, your brother and your sister too, and there's nothing wrong with that. Military kids are known as brats, but far from wild or bad. They serve their country in their own way, just like their mom or dad. Any Marine will tell you the letter C should stand for Corps. It takes courage and character. It takes commitment and more. From Camp Lejeune to Pendleton, the Marine Corps stands by, ready to go wherever they're called, true to Semper Fi. Wow, this is a really great book. We could see, and you can pause on any of these screens if you want to continue reading some of them, but we've got D for Drill Sergeant, E for Elite Force. We have F for Families. So I'm going to read this page too, because I think the families are really important because they're mentioned on the cover of our text. They're in the title. It says, behind each sailor, behind each soldier, somebody somewhere cares. Behind each airman, coastie, and marine, someone is saying their prayers. Wherever Americans fight for freedom, they very quickly learn F is for families, first and foremost, who wait for their return. So that's really great. I think it's also wonderful too, because you guys are going to be encouraged to make some cards for veterans. And so I think when we have veterans who are able to connect with their families, that definitely makes the holiday even more special on this day of remembrance. So I'm going to skip ahead, but you can pause if you want to check out any of these pages. And so we're going to go right ahead in our text to the letter V, because V stands for veterans, and that's what this day is all about. There we go. V reminds us of all those who marched these paths before. Veterans are bound by the gift of service through times of peace and war. Old and young faces saluting the flag that waves in the sky above. All were willing to give their lives for their country that they love. This is just so wonderful. And so many of our local towns have continued to celebrate our veterans. And I know that in the areas where I grew up, we see the veterans that are actually on display on telephone poles for all people to see. It says here, I'm going to read the text because we have more information. It says, every Veterans Day, our nation salutes the millions of Americans who have served in the military. Veterans represent different eras, different wars, and different experiences, but they are all bound by the common threads of dedication, sacrifice, and honor. Each time an older veteran passes away, we lose an important connection to our past and to the struggles that have made our modern lives possible. Veterans Day is observed on November 11th, the anniversary of the end of World War I, but other holidays often inspire us to reflect on the importance of the military. Veterans can be celebrated and honored each Memorial Day, the last Monday in May, Flag Day, June 14th, and Independence Day, July 4th. What a great book. I'm going to just take a minute so you can see the rest of the pages here. It looks like we have W is for women fighting in the military. X is for exchange, which seems to be related to a military base. Y It looks like Y over here. Oh, they're using the letter Y to say why. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting your lives on the line? I want to read this page. It says, Y is for the reason they do the things they do. They put their lives on the line and they do it all for you. Oh, Y stands for almost like your why, your reason, but also YOU. They're doing it for us. For you to live a life that's free in a nation proud and strong, be glad that there are those who go to work taking your dreams along. Wow, what a great reason for us to create our cards today. And then we have Z. Z can stand for Zulu. And it looks like they have the alphabet related to the military over here in the information side. What a great text. Now let me explain the challenge to you. Now that we've read parts of the story, it would be a great time for you to go back and pause so that way you can create your cards. I would suggest creating a card that says "Thank you, Veterans." If you're wondering where you can send them, you can go to www.va.gov and search for local areas and centers that are taking care of veterans or serving their needs. Definitely send your cards. What a great way to celebrate Veterans Day. Thanks for joining us for another Wonder Wednesday, and make it a great week. Keep reading, keep writing, and keep it up, New Jersey.